In the bustling heart of Ahigune, a slum in Lagos where noise never sleeps and survival is an art, lived a strikingly beautiful girl named Linda. From a young age, Linda knew her family wasn't just poor, they were trapped. Her mother, Agnes, had scrubbed hotel floors for over 20 years at a luxury hotel in Victoria Island and still couldn't afford a decent bed. Their one-room face me, I face you apartment smelled of kerosene, old sweat, and the street food sold outside their window. The walls were cracked, their fan groaned like it was dying, and Linda often lay awake on her mat staring at the cobweb ceiling, asking herself how this had become her life. Despite it all, she was different. She dreamed loudly, wildly, dangerously. Every night, Linda's fingers danced across her cheap phone screen, watching girls her age flaunt straight wigs, Louis Vuitton bags, and trips to Seychelles. They posed in Banana Island penthouses, sipping champagne with captions like, "When you're built different, the soft life is a must." She didn't believe all of it, but that didn't matter. She wanted it by any means necessary. Her best friend Tina tried to warn her. "Linda, Instagram no be real life. Some of those girls are into dirty things," she said, genuinely worried. But Linda's eyes were already fixed on something else: freedom, wealth, respect. "Then I'll do dirty things too," she muttered, half in jest, half in hunger. Ajagunle was swallowing her whole, and she wasn't about to go down without a fight. She wasn't going to end up like her mother, cleaning the footprints of the rich while her own dreams lay in the dust. Linda wanted out, and one Instagram post would soon change everything. One hot afternoon, while Linda lay on her mattress, fanning herself and scrolling through Instagram, a particular post caught her eye. It was from Vanessa X, a famous Lagos influencer with over 600,000 followers. Vanessa was the epitome of soft life. Luxury cars, flawless wigs, beach vacations, and constant photos with celebrities and politicians. The post read, "Looking for a personal assistant. Must be stylish, smart, and confident. DM if interested." Linda's heart jumped. This was her shot. Without thinking twice, she typed, "Hi, I'm Linda from Lagos. I'm hardworking, beautiful, and ready to learn. Please give me a chance." She sent the message with trembling fingers, whispering a quick prayer to God, her ancestors, and even her phone battery to hold out. To her shock, 10 minutes later, a reply came. Vanessa had messaged, "Come to Eco Atlantic Mall tomorrow at 3 p.m. Dress well. Don't be late." Linda screamed so loudly her neighbors knocked on the wall. She rushed to Tina's compound. "Tina, I got it. Vanessa X replied me." Tina's eyes widened. "The influencer? Linda, are you sure this is safe? You don't even know her." But Linda's excitement drowned out her friend's concern. "This is my chance. You don't understand. If I nail this, I won't ever come back to Ajagunle." Tina looked at her longtime friend with sad eyes. She knew Linda's mind was already made up. "Just be careful," she said softly. The next day, Linda borrowed Tina's finest gown, straightened her old wig, applied her best lipstick, and took a bus to the island. For the first time, she entered a restaurant where the air smelled like Chanel perfume and air-conditioned dreams. When Vanessa walked in, every head turned. She wore a silk jumpsuit, sleek sunglasses, and walked like the city belonged to her. Linda stood to greet her. Vanessa glanced briefly and said, "You're late." Linda had arrived early. Even though Linda arrived 10 minutes early, Vanessa's sharp tone made it clear who had the power. "I'm sorry," Linda said quickly, trying to keep her voice steady. Vanessa waved her hand dismissively. "Sit." The influencer didn't smile. She adjusted her sunglasses and sipped her mocktail. Up close, she was even more beautiful skin, like polished bronze, a bone-straight wig that framed her face perfectly, and gold hoops that caught the restaurant's light. Linda felt small, but she forced confidence into her spine. Vanessa studied her like she was inspecting a handbag. "You're pretty. That helps. But can you keep up with me?" Linda nodded. "I can handle anything." Vanessa smirked. "We'll see." And just like that, Linda became her assistant. On the bus ride back to Ejigon, Linda couldn't stop smiling. She had one leg in the life she had only ever imagined. The following morning, she took a keke to Eco Atlantic again, wearing the same borrowed gown but with freshly cleaned sandals. Vanessa lived in a glassy high-rise overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, the kind Linda had only seen on TikTok. The security guard didn't even glance at her ID. Vanessa had already given her name. Inside, the penthouse was paradise. Marble floors, velvet couches, chandeliers, and a view that made Lagos look like Dubai. "Welcome to my world," Vanessa said, emerging from her room in a silk robe. "Let's get to work." At first, Linda's job was simple: respond to brand emails, organize clothes for shoots, and hold ring lights during TikTok recordings. But as days passed, she began to see through the cracks. Vanessa's glamorous posts, staged, the bags, rented, the cars, borrowed from generous men. One day, Vanessa posted a picture in a private jet, but Linda knew they had only entered the plane for photos, then exited right after. It was all an illusion, a beautiful, filtered lie. And Linda, for the first time, didn't want to be just the assistant. She wanted to be the star. 2 weeks into the job, Linda had learned the truth behind the glitz. Most of Vanessa's so-called influencer friends weren't rich. They were just good at pretending. They shared designer clothes, used borrowed phones, and took pictures in apartments that didn't belong to them. One day, while helping Vanessa pack for a supposed getaway, Linda noticed something strange. They took a Bolt to the airport, entered a jet for a photo shoot, and then got back into another Bolt home. "But aren't we traveling?" Linda asked. Vanessa scoffed. "Travel where? Girl, it's the picture that matters, not the destination." That was the day Linda truly saw how deep the performance ran. She realized that influencers were actors, and Instagram was their stage. But soon she also realized that the real currency of the soft life wasn't likes, it was men. "You're doing well," Vanessa said one night as they prepared for a rooftop party, "but you're not monetizing your beauty yet." Linda frowned. "What do you mean?" Vanessa smirked. "Let me introduce you to Chief." At the party, Linda met Chief Femi, an older wealthy man with gold rings and a belly full of power. "She's new," Vanessa whispered, nudging Linda forward. Chief's eyes lit up. "Ah, fresh blood." Linda smiled nervously, unsure of what she had just walked into. By morning, 1.5 million had been deposited into her account. Her head spun. The money, the validation, it felt like winning. She immediately posted a picture from the party, captioning it, "When you work hard, the rewards come." Comments rolled in. "Soft babe, pressure giver." No one asked where the money came from. They only saw the glow. But Tina did. She messaged, "Linda, this isn't you." Linda stared at the message. Maybe it wasn't her before, but now, this was the new her. Linda was officially in the game. Her new iPhone gleamed, her wig bounced like imported silk, and her Instagram following shot up faster than she could believe. Her captions were confident now: #soft life only, #no stress zone, #God did. The girls who used to laugh at her torn slippers in Ashigunle now reposted her selfies with admiration. Linda had become a Lagos babe, but the deeper she went, the more she realized there was a dark structure behind the glamour. "Chief Femi's money will not last forever," Vanessa said one evening. They were on her penthouse balcony, sipping wine. "Men get tired. You need a roster." Linda blinked. "You mean more men?" Vanessa nodded. "Yes, 3, 4 at least. Diversify your income streams." Linda hesitated. It was one thing to play the game, another to become the game. "But I thought this was about influencing, about brand deals," she said weakly. Vanessa laughed. "Brands? Please. Do you think one PR package can pay for a Chanel bag? Babe, wake up. Your body is the brand." That night, Vanessa handed Linda a flyer with an address. "You want to really win? You have to invest in your body. This place will get you right, snatched waist, lifted hips, the works." Linda's chest tightened. She had seen the transformations on Instagram, the perfect curves, tiny waists, and photos that broke the internet. But she had also heard whispers of botched surgeries, underground clinics, and girls who never woke up. "Where did you do yours?" Linda asked. Vanessa sipped her drink and smiled. "Underground. No stress. Fast healing. It's safe. Mostly." Against her better judgment, Linda agreed. Her hunger for power had begun to swallow her fear. She wanted more and more, always came with a price. The clinic was hidden in a back street of Ikea, inside a quiet compound with no signboard and windows covered by dark curtains. It didn't look like a hospital. There were no nurses in scrubs, no smell of antiseptic, just silence, white rooms, and women with bruised faces and perfect bodies scrolling through Instagram. Linda's heart pounded as she sat beside Vanessa in the waiting area. "Relax," Vanessa whispered. "They've done this for hundreds of girls, quick and cheap." A beautiful influencer named Eva chatted with Linda. "I've done this 3 times. You have to maintain the body. Men love freshness," she said with a tired smile. But something about Eva's eyes felt hollow, like a candle burning too long. Vanessa went in first, then Eva. When it was Linda's turn, she laid on the table, her heart racing. The doctor didn't introduce himself. His assistant didn't smile. Just as he approached with a syringe, the door slammed open with a scream. A body hit the floor. It was Eva. Her lips were blue, her skin already cold. Chaos erupted. The doctor yelled in a language Linda didn't understand. Vanessa grabbed her by the wrist. "We're leaving! Now!" They ran. Linda didn't look back. Back at the penthouse, she collapsed on the floor, shaking. "She died, Vanessa. She died." But Vanessa was calm, already fixing her nails. "People die every day in this hustle. Don't be dramatic." That night, Linda couldn't sleep. She stared at herself in the mirror and realized this game wasn't just fake. It was dangerous. And yet, even with the fear sitting in her stomach like a stone, the hunger inside her remained. The money, the power, the attention, it had taken root in her bones. Vanessa saw the conflict in her eyes and smiled. "Don't worry, babe. You'll get used to it, but next time we'll use something safer, something spiritual." 3 nights after the clinic horror, Vanessa introduced Linda to something even more dangerous than surgery. "There's a shortcut," she whispered, as they rode in a tinted Benz through Surulere. "You want men to chase you, worship you, beg to spend on you without question?" Linda's heart beat faster. "Yes," she whispered, already knowing it was a mistake. They stopped outside a fancy-looking bungalow that didn't resemble a shrine. Inside was a woman dressed in Ankara and gold heels, her face glowing like sunlight. "This is Mama Z," Vanessa said. "She doesn't look like a native doctor," Linda muttered. "Because she's not ordinary," Vanessa replied. Mama Z smiled. "Remove your clothes. Wrap this black cloth around you." Without thinking, Linda obeyed. The air in the room turned thick. Then the woman brought out a bowl of dark liquid. "Rub this on your body. From this night, no man will ever tell you no." As soon as the mixture touched her skin, Linda felt a rush of fire and something like electricity shooting through her veins. She felt taller, shinier, magnetic. That very night, Chief Femi, who hadn't replied her text in days, sent her $5 million in a brand new car. A politician she only met once at a dinner party transferred another $2 million just to hear her voice. Linda stared at her phone screen as credit alerts kept pouring in like rainfall. She had never felt this powerful. Even Vanessa was shocked. "You're ready now," she said. "Welcome to the real game." Linda's Instagram page exploded. She crossed 50,000 followers, and brands suddenly wanted to work with her. She posted selfies in yachts, clubs, lounges, half of them fake, but the lifestyle looked real. Ajagon was far behind her now. She had entered a new world. But what she didn't know was that every charm has an expiry date and every price must eventually be paid. Linda was living her dream. Money, fame, and admiration flowed endlessly. She now spoke with an accent that wasn't hers, posted quotes about self-love while being fully sponsored by men she barely liked, and had become a fixture in Lagos's elite parties. Even Tina, who once warned her, sent a text. "I'm proud of you, babe. You made it." Linda stared at that message for a long time, a knot forming in her chest. Tina didn't know the truth. Nobody did. They didn't know about the rituals, the fake jets, or how she still had dreams where Ava's cold body fell at her feet. But Linda buried the guilt under a mountain of designer shoes and sponsored spa dates. She was at the top now, and the top was no place for doubt. But then, the empire cracked. One morning, she woke up to a strange DM from a faceless Instagram account. You think you've won, but wait, it's your turn to fall. Linda brushed it off as a troll, until Vanessa called her moments later. Check Twitter, now. Linda's heart dropped. She opened the app. She was trending. A gossip blog had posted a full expose. Lagos' latest it girl is a fraud. Sources confirm that Linda is funded by married men. Her car, gifted. Her lifestyle, sponsored, #fake life. Her phone exploded with hate. Brand deals vanished. Her account lost thousands of followers. Chief Femi blocked her. Sponsors ghosted her. In less than 48 hours, her dream life crumbled into dust. Linda sat in the middle of her now empty penthouse, surrounded by expensive clothes and no electricity. It was over. Her empire was built on illusion, and the wind had finally blown. But she wasn't going to let it end like this. No, not without a fight. The fall from grace hit Linda like a hurricane. With no more money and nowhere to go, she returned to Ahagunle, hiding her face in a scarf and sunglasses. But the whispers still followed her. She thought she had made it. Fake life don't catch up with her. She stayed indoors for days, too ashamed to step out. Her skin, once glowing from expensive facials, was now dull and pimpled from stress. Her wigs were tangled. Her soul was tired. But rage burned inside her like wildfire. Vanessa did this, she muttered. She leaked everything. And she was right. Only Vanessa knew the details. Only Vanessa stood to gain from Linda's downfall. And if the game was dirty, Linda was finally ready to get dirtier. She returned to Mama Z's house, this time alone. The moment the woman saw her, she said, "Ah, so you have come for the second part." Linda fell to her knees. "I want revenge." Mama Z's eyes twinkled. "Good. But remember, once we begin, there's no going back." Linda nodded without hesitation. She was done being humble. Mama Z handed her a red cloth, a black candle, and a bottle of dark liquid. "Pour 3 drops on your tongue every night. Speak their names. Speak what you want to happen. The spirits will handle the rest." That night, Linda lit the candle, wrapped herself in the red cloth, and called Vanessa's name. Her voice was steady, cold. "Everything you built will collapse. Your fake power will turn to dust." The next morning, Linda woke up to chaos on social media. Vanessa was trending, exposed for laundering money and sleeping with a powerful politician's husband. Her followers turned on her. Brands cut ties. And just like that, the Queen of Lagos fell. But Linda wasn't satisfied. The game had just begun, and now she was the one pulling the strings. For weeks, Linda watched in satisfaction as her enemies crumbled one by one. The influencers who mocked her were suddenly exposed for fraud. Chief Femi's secret affairs leaked to the press, and his political ambitions were ruined. Vanessa vanished from social media completely. No posts, no parties, no sign of life. Linda felt unstoppable. She sat in exclusive lounges again, this time not as an assistant, but as the queen. People whispered her name with awe and fear. That's Linda, the one who came back stronger. But the victory tasted bitter. Her nights were sleepless. Her reflection in the mirror flickered, and when she closed her eyes, she sometimes heard Eva's scream from that clinic, echoing in the dark. One night, as she scrolled in through her comments section, a notification popped up, a message from Vanessa's old account. "Did you really think it was over?" Linda's phone slipped from her hands. She clicked the profile. It was gone. Deleted. That same night, she felt something watching her. Her apartment lights flickered. Shadows moved on their own. At midnight, someone knocked 3 times. Terrified, she lit the black candle again, whispering the chant Mama Z had taught her. But the shadows grew thicker, and the knocks became louder. When she finally opened the door, there was no one, just the night. But as she turned to go back in, a cold hand grabbed her wrist. Standing there was Vanessa, but not the Vanessa she knew. Her eyes were pitch black, her skin pale and hollow. She wasn't human anymore. Linda screamed and ran, barefoot into the streets of Lagos, her red heels still on, her designer bag clutched like a trophy. A week later, she was found roaming the Oyolegba market in rags, muttering to herself, a lipstick smile smeared across her cheeks. she had finally influenced something madness. Because when you sell your soul for fame, the devil always comes to collect. The end. What's your take on this story? Now that you've seen Linda's rise and fall, what are your thoughts? Do you think she deserved what happened to her? Was Vanessa right to betray her? Or did Linda go too far? And what would you have done in her shoes? This story is more than entertainment. It's a reflection of the hidden dangers behind the glam life we often admire online. So, let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. If this story moved you, give it a thumbs up. Share with someone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful and eye-opening stories like this. Until next time, remember, not everything that glitters is gold. Stay wise, stay real,